Hello, good morning or good evening whenever you are watching this. I hope you are doing well. My name is Catherine and today I am doing a book haul. Woo! I went the first 3 months of lockdown and I didn't buy a single book. I was so proud of myself. The month of March, April, and May, no books. And then June happened and I felt a pull and a need to buy books and support independent booksellers, and I also wanted to support Black-owned bookshops, and I went a little crazy. So I bought 11 books. There would have been 7 more, however, UPS lost my package. But on the bright side, I had ordered those books from a certain discounted bookstore that the next day tweeted something pretty racist, so at least I got a full refund and my money didn't actually go to support that bookshop. So plus side, downside is it was 7 books that are just lost forever now, and who knows where they've gone. With the whole pandemic and everything, I have been trying to support independent bookstores a lot more. I think independent bookstores are so important, especially in terms of uplifting authors that the big box bookstores might not be promoting as much. The best way that I've been able to do that is through bookshop.org. I'm not sponsored in any way, I just absolutely adore this website. Basically, bookshop.org is a way to support independent bookstores. A portion of the proceeds that they make goes to independent bookstores, and you can actually choose a specific store to support. So if you go on their website, you can search your area. So for me, I'm in the Los Angeles area and I can see a list of all the independent bookstores in LA. You can also support bookstores that aren't in anywhere near you. You'll see in my haul, I'll talk about all the different places that I bought the books from. And they are there's some from New York, some from Chicago. You can support bookstores all over the country. I'm not too sure how they are with international shipping. I don't know if they ship internationally, but it is a really, really wonderful way to support independent bookstores, especially as a lot of them have had to downsize and had to let go of some of their staff because they just aren't making the money that they normally do. And even before the pandemic, a lot of those independent bookstores are seeing a decline in sales with the popularity, of course, of Amazon and Barnes & Noble. They just don't get the support that they need. So I highly recommend checking out bookshop.org. I will put a link to them, and I'll put a link to every single independent bookstore that I shopped with down in the description below. The first shop that I bought from was the Lip Bar in the Bronx, New York. From the Lip Bar, I purchased Dear Martin by Nic Stone. I did talk about this book, I've already read it. It is absolutely beautiful. This follows a boy named Justice who gets wrongfully detained by a police officer who racially profiles him. He is a good student, top of his class. He's on his way to an Ivy League school, but of course the police officer doesn't see that. He only sees the color of his skin. So Justice decides to keep a journal in order to process everything that's happened to him, and he writes the journal as letters to Martin Luther King Jr. And thus he starts a project to be more like Martin and what that means to him. It's a wonderful book, highly recommend. I love Nic Stone's writing. She's fantastic. The next book that I bought is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alire Saez. This is one of my all-time favorite books, but I had only listened to it in the past via audiobook, so I'd listened to it 3 times as an audiobook, but I hadn't owned the book, and I love this book so much that I wanted to own a physical copy. So I bought it. This book follows 2 boys, Aristotle and Dante. They meet by fate one summer at their community swimming pool, and they become the best of friends. It explores a lot of different things, including what it means to be a Mexican American, as they are both Mexican American, but their lives are so different. They both kind of question the validity of their identity. And it does also explore sexuality, as Aristotle and Dante start to feel things for each other. Their friendship and relationship is just so beautiful, and I just absolutely love this book, and it's full of different quotes and lines and sentences and paragraphs that just make me I love Benjamin Alire's writing. It just is so beautiful. The last book that I got from the Lit Bar is All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. So this is a memoir that talks about his life and his experiences as a queer Black man. I haven't read this one yet. I got through the preface, but I've heard so many wonderful things about it. I'm very excited. This is on like my TBR within like the next week or so. The next store that I bought from through bookshop.org is Semicolon Books. It is a Black women-owned bookstore and gallery space in Chicago. From there, I bought the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. I don't know the premise of this one, and I'm kind of okay with that. All I know is it is a fantasy book. I tend to like going into fantasy books not knowing too much because I like to learn about it as I read. So all I know is I've heard amazing things about this series and I'm very excited to read it. The next book that I bought was Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. I'm sure if you've watched any other booktube video, you may have probably seen people talk about this. I read this one for the reading rush. It is a beautiful book written in verse form, as Elizabeth Acevedo tends to do. This follows two girls who discover that they are sisters. One is in the Dominican Republic, one is in New York. They discover that they are sisters after their father dies in a plane crash. It is an absolutely beautiful book. I cried, I laughed. It's so well written. I absolutely love Elizabeth Acevedo, her writing style, especially in verse form. It's such a unique way to tell a story, and I love it so much. The next book that I bought from there was The Odd One Out by Nic Stone. This is a super cute contemporary that follows 3 friends, and there's like a whole love triangle that happens. I'm very excited to read this one. Again, I love Nic Stone's writing style, so I don't normally go for love triangles. If you've heard me talk about different tropes I like, you know that's not my thing. But this seems very different than the normal love triangle where it's like one person and 2 people, 2 guys like trying to get this one girl. It seems like an actual love triangle, so I'm interested to see how that plays out. The last book that I got from Semicolon Books was I'm Not Dying With You Tonight by Gilly, Segal, and Kimberly Jones. This follows 2 girls who are not friends but end up getting thrown together due to something happening at a football game that they are both attending. So it sounds really good and also kind of terrifying, but I'm excited to read it. The next place that I bought from, which I actually shopped through them through their like actual website, was from Charis Books, which is in Georgia. I purchased from there because it is the local independent bookstore for one of my favorite authors, Becky Albertalli, and she was doing a campaign through them where if you ordered her newest book from them, you would get a signed copy. So of course I had to do it, and that book was Love Creekwood by Becky Albertalli. This is a continuation of the Love Simon universe. This follows Simon and his friends during their first year of college. It's super, super adorable. It's a little tiny novella, and I love this universe so much, and I love Becky Albertalli's writing. I also, while I was buying books from there, bought Yes, No, Maybe So by Becky Albertalli and Aisha Saeed. This follows 2 teenagers, one is Jewish, one is Muslim, as they are thrown together during a campaign for their local representatives. So they basically get paired up together as a team to go canvassing, and they learn a lot about each other and each other's culture, especially them being in the South as being Jewish and being Muslim. They face a lot of prejudices, so it's very cool because it's teenagers who are getting involved in politics, and of course there's a little bit of a romance that happens too. The next store that I shopped at was Brave and Kind Bookstore in Georgia as well, and from there I purchased All the Things We Never Knew by Liara Tamani, I believe that's how it's pronounced. This is a cute contemporary which revolves around 2 teens on their high school basketball team. I don't know a lot about basketball, but It sounds really cute, so I'm very excited to read it. The last two books are books that I had pre-ordered from Barnes & Noble, so they're from Barnes & Noble. The first one that I got was Faith Taking Flight by Julie Murphy. This is about a girl who develops the power to fly. She's obsessed with this like TV show, and then she also is able to fly. I don't know. I love anything that Julie Murphy puts out though, and I will read anything she writes. I don't care. She's an auto-buy author for me, so very excited to read this one. Also, the cover is just beautiful colors. Can we talk about that? Like, look how beautiful that is. And the last book that I bought from Barnes & Noble was A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor by Hank Green. This is the sequel to An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. So very excited to read this one. So those are all the books I got. Again, I would have 7 more if UPS hadn't lost them, but who knows, maybe they'll just show up one day. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I make new videos every Monday and Thursday, so if you don't want to miss one, go ahead and hit subscribe. And of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and until next time, bye!